Hello, I'm Jesse Dye, and welcome to my TED Talk. We have our audience this way behind the camera. You'll probably hear them every once in a while. Say hi, Will.
Hi.
There he is. So I have a very important topic today, which I would like to talk about, and it is the why of waiting. And well, to start us off, let's think about in your mind, when was the last time you waited for something? You were in a line for the grocery store, you were in traffic on the way to your workplace, and how are you feeling in that moment? I can assure you it probably was not very positive. If you're anything like me, that is. But when we really start thinking about why we wait is when it starts getting more important. So, why do we wait? Well, we wait for a lot of things. We wait for things that we want to buy. Sometimes we're waiting for things that we want to see. We wait for things that we want to be around, such as our friend to get home from work. We wait for things that we want to experience, such as being in a line for a roller coaster or something like that. So in the end, we wait for things that we know are worth waiting for. I personally have a really tough time with waiting, and but I do love one thing that involves a lot of waiting, and it is snowboarding. I love snowboarding with my really good friend Will. He skis and I snowboard. But if you know anything about snowboarding or being on the ski hill, is that you have to wait a lot. In fact, usually you're waiting for 7 to 10 minutes on the chair, only for 2.5 minutes of actual ski time. Now, if you look at it on paper, that sounds pretty terrible, to me at least. But the snowboarding is what makes the waiting worth it. So yes, you have to wait, but then it's worth it when you can actually be flying down the hill, going through the trees, the sun's shining, and you're just having a great time on the hill with your friends and family. So I wait in that circumstance because I know that I will be able to snowboard down the mountain. I will be able to receive recompense for my waiting. I wait because I know I'll have a great time with my friend. Right? We'll both make it up there. We'll both have to endure the waiting process in order to have a great time sliding down the mountain. So that brings me to the question, if I hate waiting, but I love snowboarding, how do I love snowboarding if it involves waiting? Well, the answer is because having to wait to snowboard is what gives snowboarding its worth, right? If I could just snowboard nonstop, I'm sure it'd get pretty boring pretty quickly. But since I have to endure that sacrifice period or that waiting period to get to the top of the mountain again in order to slide back down, that's what gives it its worth. Its value, I should say. And a lot of things are like this. Think of all the things that are like that you need to endure a waiting period for in order to receive the goal at the end. A baby has to be created for 9 months, right? Cupcakes, delicious cupcakes, need to be made and cooked in the oven. Let's talk about college. You have to wait at least 4 years in college, enduring college, right, in order to get your degree. Sometimes in the middle of your favorite TV show, you have commercials. You have to wait through those as well. So Ray Davis said this, patience is not a passive waiting period. Patience is active acceptance of the process required to attain your goals and dreams. And one thing else I wanted to talk about was an issue that we're having more and more as our technology advances, and it's the I want it now mentality. I couldn't tell you how many times I search something up on my phone or on the computer and it doesn't load instantly, and then I immediately become distressed. I become angry, right, at the machine because it's not giving my answer that it usually gives me in that moment. So I feel like we're being conditioned to not be patient. We're being conditioned to not have this virtue of patience. And Everything worth something has a sacrifice or a waiting period, right? That's really what gives it its worth. So I guess the question comes down to, if patience is required, how can I become more patient? That's the question of the century. And I had to go through all of this because I'm still working on it, but I'm not a very patient person, as my family and friends can attest. They're all shaking their head no over there. So, step one, we need to understand that patience is a necessary part of life. You're going to be in situations that require patience, that require you to wait it out and just wait, right? Understand that patience is a skill and that it can be learned. Don't get discouraged if you don't think you're a very patient person. I, for one, I think I'm more patient now than I was, but I still have a lot to go. Know that we cannot change what we cannot control. In that circumstance, it's better to just be patient and ride it out. And of course, patience will come as well. And we need to understand that the waiting period is the very reason why something has meaning. So the next time you're waiting in line or in traffic, you can sit back and think, what is the good that's going to come out of this? What is going to make me happy because of this moment right now? And I challenge you all to have that mindset. And that is the end of my TED Talk. Here's Will.